we're seeing, which is a soft landing.
All right, that is some important global opinion that we're tracking, but let's now talk about all of the cues that you should have on your radar as we get into this fresh trading week. Our research team is here with the trade setup as well as the individual names that you should watch for in today's trading session. We have Ekta, Mangalam as well as Surbi joining us with the trade setup. Guys, a very good morning to all of you. And Ekta, let me come to you first. We did get a little bit of a weak close on Friday, but take us through everything as we get into this fresh week.
Thanks for that. Well, yes, the markets did close in the red on Friday. The Nifty was down over 90 odd points. We had the Nifty Bank, which underperformed, so that seems to stand out. The financials underperforming. So the Nifty Bank fell around 500 odd points. FIIs net sold around 624 odd crores, so they have started reselling. Let's see what the trend would be, because they did buy for 3 consecutive sessions just recently. Now, DIIs net sold around 85 odd crores. The Sensex and the Nifty, however, on a week-to-date basis, last week recorded third straight week of gains, which is definitely a positive, something to keep on our radar. That on a week-to-date basis, the indices were up around 0.5% each. Now, in terms of what's taken place overnight, global cues stand tall in terms of one of the top cues to watch out for. So the US markets, the Dow closed more than 100 points higher on Friday. We did have some Fed Reserve governors indicate that, the inflation target of around 2% for the US could be something which could still be a long way off. So there was some more hawkish commentary which came in. Asia is largely mixed at this point in time. We do have the FOMC Fed minutes which will be out this week, so something to watch out for, and the SGX, which is indicating a little bit of a positive start. Just watch out for oil prices because they settle low on Fed concerns, ample supply. Brent is currently at around $83 per barrel. It was down $2 per barrel. And lastly, watch out for the financials continuing their underperformance, because last week we had the PSU banks which were lower in trade as well, not only the Nifty Bank. Now, stock-specific action would be in focus because the FTSE has announced a semi-annual index review, and separately we do have NSE, which has indicated that there was a semi-annual index review, but the changes were not made in the Nifty but only in the Nifty Next 50, which would be with effect March 31st. So stock specific action on one end, and in terms of the other cue, it would be global.
All right, so those are all of the cues that we are going to watch for. Ekta, thanks a lot for that. But let's now also talk about the cues that we should watch from the futures and options space. And Mangalam is here with exactly that. Mangalam.
Well, good morning. On Friday, we did see some weakness on our markets, but it was a big range that we traded in, almost 150 points, or nearly 2%. So the highs on the index, the Nifty was 18,034, whereas the low was 17,885. On the cash market front, we saw a sell-off from both the FIIs as well as the DIIs, but it is the Feb series expiry week, so we'll be monitoring all the FNO flows much more closely. And in that, the big cue that we got during the day itself on Friday was the compression that we saw in the Nifty future premium, which was close to around 6.8 points, and that compressed from around 27 odd points. So that was telling you that we saw a fair amount of sell-off by the FIIs in index futures, almost 1,100 crore worth sell-off. What does that mean in terms of individual things that they did? They added close to 10,000 short contracts and also unwound around 1,500 long contracts. So there you have it, close to around 1,100 crore worth selling in index futures. The long contracts for the FII is now from 27-28%, which were a couple of trading sessions ago, has now come down to around 23 odd percent. But the one data point that really stood out at the start of expiry week itself was the call selling that the FIIs did. Almost 2.2 lakh shares of calls sold by the FIIs, and this compares with around 91,000 puts, so nearly twice the number of calls sold. That's telling you that levels higher, upwards of 18,050, could see a fair amount of resistance, and that's exactly what the options denoted as well. 18,000 call, almost 63 lakh shares added for a premium of 73 odd rupees, telling you levels upwards of 18,050 to 1875 will face some sort of congestion. 18,100 call also saw a fair amount of writing. However, while the range for the market has moved higher, we've seen supports move higher as well. The 20-day moving average, which was an erstwhile resistance, now is a support, and that's why the 17,900 put writers are extremely active for a premium of 73 odd rupees. So the 20-day average of 17,848 on the Nifty is extremely important. However, the Nifty Bank, which is underperforming, broke below the 20-day moving average on Friday, and now that will be a bit of a resistance on the way up.
All right, so let's see how those levels hold. Mangalam, thanks a lot for getting us all of those cues. We also have Surbhi, who is standing by to take us through all of the individual stock-specific action that came through and that we should watch for. Surbhi?
Good morning. A few stocks that are on my radar this morning. The first one is Samvardhan Motherson, where the company is going to acquire 100% stake in a German company, SAS Automotive Tech. The company is a cockpit module integrator with an enterprise value of 540 million euros. The transaction is expected to be completed in Q2 of FY24. Next is Cipla, where the company's US FDA has issued 8 observations in Form 483 for Pitambur manufacturing facility. HUL, the company has signed an agreement for sale of its brands Annapurna and Captain Cook to Uma Global Foods and Uma Consumer Products for 60 odd crores. KEC International, the company wins orders worth 3,000 odd crores. Dilip Bitcoin receives a letter of acceptance from Madhya Pradesh Jal Nigam Authority worth 1,947 crores. And lastly, CRISIL, where the company has announced its Q4 results, where the revenue is up 16% on a year-on-year basis and the profit before tax is up 15% at 207 crores.
All right, Surbhi, thanks a lot for getting us all of those individual stocks. In addition, like we were pointing out, the entire Adani group of stocks will also be in focus, so do watch for that. But with that, it's time for our first short break on the show. On the other side, we get you details from Saturday's GST meeting, so stay tuned for that.